Welcome back to the Urban Monk Podcast. Dr. Pedram Shojai here with Mark Fox, one of my favorite inventors. He's a rocket scientist, worked with NASA, had a problem to solve, invented a gadget to solve it. We'll talk about it during the show. But the same technology that he was able to invent at scale, low cost for humans, man, I've been using it on my dogs. People are swearing by it for their horses. People put it in the beds for their cats. And it is really helping with a variety of issues with our pets that have anxiety, that have inflammation, that have the same issues we do because they're mammals. They just can't verbalize it as well. And so I'm a big fan of this technology because it's very effective, it's safe, and I could see it work. Enjoy the podcast with Mark Fox. It's good to see you. Welcome back to the show.
It's good to see you again. Thank you.
Hey, man, I really want to thank you personally. I can't tell you, people are like, look, my dogs are good. My dogs have always been good dogs. They're just better now. And everyone's like, hey, what is that thing? And so I get so many people asking me what's dangling on the side of my dog's collars now. And I end up talking about this more than I ever thought I'd be talking about something. They are calmer. And I could tell you, like when I work from home and they're next to me, a good dog is a happy dog, and a happy dog is with its owner and with the pack.
Right.
But look, man, we gotta leave the house. We gotta go places. They stay home alone a lot, and the dogs don't like that. They get a lot of anxiety over that. And this thing has been a game changer. When we leave, they're different. I'm gonna get into what is happening with my dogs, but I want you to give a little backstory of how you came to invent this and why it's been working so well.
So how I got into this technology to start with was 27 years ago. My dog couldn't come up the stairs one morning and took her to the vet. She ended up having arthritis in her spine. And so a veterinarian told me, hey, there's this magic machine that can reverse arthritis. I'm like, that's BS. That can't be true. I'm a rocket scientist, but it's my dog. So I jumped into it and I looked into it. Sure enough, it's some real technology. That's what actually got me into this whole space. We have bandanas and we have vests that are custom made for the vibe to slide into. But yeah, so dogs, and we get asked this all the time, what's the device for the dog or the horse? I go, dog, horses, cats, giraffes, it doesn't matter. They're the same as humans. Okay. A horse is 1,000-pound person on 4 feet. Okay. They have a vagus nerve. They have heart. They have the same issues we do. You just said relax and balance. Dogs and fireworks, and you left them at home and their anxiety. So we have what we call the power of four for anxiety. We have an anxiety protocol. We have relax and balance. We have vagus nerve toning, and we have PTSD. So for all the listeners that have a rescue dog, your dog was in jail and didn't do anything wrong, right? So they probably have some kind of trauma or PTSD. So we'll recommend and run those 4 protocols, figure out which one your dog reacts to the best or your horse, and stick with those. But then the other common ailments and stuff are things that are obvious once I say them. Arthritis, right? Your dog gets old, or hip dysplasia, anxiety and stress, we overcome itching, allergies, skin conditions, infected ears for immune support, chronic pain. They get older. They have the same stuff that we do. Some dogs have epilepsy, ear infections, like I said, immune support. So if you just think about your dog or your pet being a human, they got the same issues that we do. And it works just as well on dogs and horses as it does people.
So this PEMF technology, like I've been using it for years. We've been using it clinically, and I'm ashamed to say how much I've spent on some of these boxes. But when you're running a clinic, you write the big check, and then people come and spend $100, $150, whatever it is a session. It earns its way back out, and then you have these big fancy units that multiple people can use. Only rich guys have the big ones in their garages, but it was always not acceptable, right? To get only the treatment there when you walk out. You're in my office for half an hour and you have 23 and a half hours of life punching you in the face. And so this stuff became a doggy bag that I really liked for my patients because life is hard and stress is there. And I never thought that, hey, I should put this on my dog until finally you had suggested it years ago. And holy crap, this works. And so now you've been doing it with, you mentioned giraffes and all that. I don't know how many people have pet giraffes other than the late Michael Jackson, but I was actually at his ranch once and I was like, oh, look at that. There are giraffes here. But the horses is such a huge industry. It's such a place where people spend so much money, time, and energy on these incredible creatures that all edge is something, right? So how are horses benefiting from this?
It's interesting too. So PEMF, if you go man on the street with a microphone, you go, "Hey, have you ever heard of PMF?" It's going to be 1 out of 15, 1 out of 20 people. They know of a Beamer mat at their chiropractor or their wellness spa or something like that. If you go ask a horse owner, 100% of them know what it is. They know what a MagnaWave is. So they either had their horse treated with a MagnaWave or they another horse in the stalls next to them has. So they're very familiar with that technology. The problem is, as you said, it's the size of a keg, costs $15,000, and most people can't afford that. And a session when the veterinarian comes out is $250. So this is a really cool solution for that. What we do is we have it's actually a cell phone holder, right? It's basically a cell phone holder with a 30-inch elastic strap that goes around the horse's neck. A horse, we talked about this before, and you know this very well. Your vagus nerve, right? Comes down your brain, both sides of your neck, clusters around your heart, goes to all your organs. A horse and a dog have a vagus nerve as well. So you can get the energy most efficiently into a horse by just putting it on their neck, on the side of their neck where the vagus nerve is. So horses, like dogs and people, have the same thing. People are riding them. So they have inflammation in their back. They have back pain, right? They have arthritis. They get old. One lady told me, "Hey, Mark, if you can allow me to ride my horse an extra 2 years, you can charge whatever you want for that thing," right? Because horses live to be 30 something years old, right? And you can't ride them after 20 or whatever it is. And you're still stalling them and paying them, feeding them and shot vets and all that stuff. So they're very expensive, right? So you can prolong the high quality of their life. So it's a lot of the same ailments, right? Wound healing, whatever reason, horses keep wanting to hurt themselves. They run into fences, they do stuff. So the wound healing protocol gets used a lot. Like I said, back pain, neck pain, just vagus nerve, and relax and balance. So we have lots and lots of customers where you got to load this horse on a trailer. The owner's freaking out a week before they load them. So run, relax, and balance for the owner. Then before the trailer shows up that day, run, relax, and balance on the horse. And they're a lot calmer. You can go on our website, you'll see tons and tons of testimonials from horse owners. And the biggest challenge we've had is not the awareness with horse owners. It's like, there's no way that little 2.4 ounce thing's going to do crap for a 1,000-pound animal. Yeah, it does. And they'll believe. So my avatar is a 52-year-old cowgirl, and I've got vets with dozens of them. It's like, this can't possibly work on this big animal. Trust me, it will. And actually, horses are more energy sensitive, so are dogs, than people are. So you don't need a big, huge amount of power, even though he's a big animal. It works. It is magic. Last week, we had 3 horses at a rescue that were all lame, and they ran several of the protocols. Now they're running in the field. Part of the problem is the horse refugee world has found out that I donate a lot of them for free to help out these nonprofits. So I get an email every day. "Can you send that?" It's like, I'm going to go broke. Keep sending them all for free, but we're trying to help as much as we can with these nonprofits and stuff. But no, it's really exciting. I've made this argument as everyone else is like a horse or a dog doesn't have a placebo effect. I'm changing my tune a little bit because they know you're doing something for them, right? If you're coming and caring for them, they don't know exactly what you're doing with their hoof, but they must be taking care. They're trying to make me better. So there's got to be a little placebo effect, I think, with a horse too, but not near as much as a human. But it's cool as hell to see one hightailing it run across the field. I had one owner that goes, she walked by, she goes, "Did somebody give him hay? They're not supposed to feed him yet," because his head was down. She walked in there and he was asleep with his head on the brood bowl. And this is a horse that's very anxious all the time. She thought somebody was feeding him. And she walks in there and no, he was sleeping. We had another one that first came over and put his head in a person's lap on a chair and just lay down and slept. And it's not knocking them out. They're just really relaxed. If I was evil, I would make a protocol that makes them lick, because all horse owners go, when they're licking, they're happy. If they're licking and chomping, that means they're happy and they're calm and stuff. And that's the biomarker that all the horse owners are seeing, is the licking, and the ears are doing all the things that they know that the horse is comfortable, not stressed.
Now, you have a couple units that I've played with, the full unit that you get programmed to do for headaches and tinnitus and all sorts of stuff, and then the Vibe, which is all directional vagus nerve stimulator. Which one are you using for horses and dogs predominantly?
The vibe itself, just because the pockets on the vest. So the horse harness, the Vibe band, and then the harness or the bandana for the dog, if the pocket is designed for the vibe. We honestly haven't really done any testing with the Vibe itself on a horse or a dog. And part of the challenge, of course, is how do they not stomp on it or chew it? So having it inside of it goes inside of the vest. Right here is like a pocket that's heavy duty Velcro. There's no way a dog's going to get that out. And then on the horses run into fences and they break them once in a while, that kind of thing. But it's been the vibe. It's the one we use the most.
You know, what I've been playing with is we have a hard time keeping an air tag on my dogs. 2 Labradors, they're wrestling and just beating each other up in the woods all day. And I take them trail running in the back country, no leashes. And I just, if I whistle and they don't come, I got my backup on the tracker. But I've always been a little reticent to have them wear this other device on the run. Maybe I will, because as I'm running more and more, I can see their joints starting to get a little achy. Like they can't do what we do as well on the long distance. And so I'm curious about anti-inflammatory protocols for dogs. I mean, mine aren't even old dogs, but like I've had old dogs, and man, it's sad when they can't mobilize as well.
Yeah. General inflammation's 80% of all ailments, evil, whether it's a horse or a giraffe or a person, right? So run general inflammation and arthritis. And we get some really cool stories. My dog can't jump off the couch for a year, and now she's jumping off the couch. She always wants to go out. She's whining at the door. Now she's scratching again to go in and out, right? So they see it in their dogs that they're doing. And with cats, now cats are strange critters, right? They're super finicky. You can't strap it to a cat very well, which I've learned you can't do it to a rhinoceros either because they smash a bit. By the way, the reason we did it with giraffes, we were running the 528 love frequency in a zoo trying to get them to mate. That's what we were trying to do. That would count with it. But so yeah, with dogs and stuff you put it on them with the vest or whatever. The bandana, I never thought about this, but I had weird 2 people in the last day said it's getting wet when they bend over in their water bowl because of the bandana. Like, okay, hadn't thought through that one. So the harness is probably a better solution for that. And what I really want to test, Pedram, I could get cocaine easier than I get transdermal cream. Okay. I'm trying to get cream because you can infuse the frequencies and the energy into cream. And I want to get a transdermal cream to put it on a dog's ear or on the inside of the ear or something for pain. So it's even more efficient. You keep the regular vest they had and you just apply it that way. But no, I'm not a veterinarian or doc. I can't get the cream. It's impossible. Maybe you can get it for me. Yeah, that's something I've never done. So
Yeah, no, I know a guy. Yeah, absolutely. We'd have that conversation. The problem with humans as well, but dogs is just the compliance and try to keep it on and they chew it off. But what I thought was going to be a problem with my dogs, they don't, when you put something on them, they don't like it. They're like gnawing at it, trying to take it off. They seem to like this thing. They leave it, which is really interesting. It's the same thing you would say the horse knows. They have this kind of intuitive sense that, hey, I like how this makes me feel. Leave it there.
yeah, and this is a very good point. And if you just put it in their dog bed, they'll come lay on it. They'll come lay next to it. If your dog or cat or horse doesn't like it, it means you're running, in most cases, it means you're running the wrong protocol. You misdiagnosed or your veterinarian misdiagnosed what's wrong with them. Cats will actually run away from it if you're running the wrong protocol. If you're running the right one, they'll lay on it and purr. So animals know. They're going to give you that feedback, whether you're running the right. And for whatever reason, is stop doing it. If they don't like it, try a different protocol, rethink what you are treating them for, right? Because maybe it's nerve related. Maybe it's not fibromyalgia. Maybe it's just strains or ligaments or muscle fatigue, that type of thing. So yeah, the animals they'll definitely let you know. Most of them, like you said, love it. If they don't like it, it's because something's not right and you probably misdiagnosed them.
Cool. Will you share the protocols that you've already tested with me so you share with our audience?
The 4 for dogs and horses too is, again, PTSD trauma, right? You've got all these dogs that have been in jail or horses that are rescues, right? Or they've been treated horribly or raised, whatever. So PTSD, anxiety, for sure, relax and balance, and the vagus nerve. So those 4, call it the power of 4. Try all 4 of those in combination. You may find your dog, your horse likes one better than the other. Just stick with that one. But you'll see the feedback. You'll know from the animal.
Got it. And for cats who basically won't wear it, you could throw it on their bed or something. What do you have it broadcast?
Just put it in their bed, come to lay on it or the couch or wherever they hang out and stuff. The big one that we're seeing is with cats is kidneys, right? As they get older, they have kidney failure. So the kidney protocol is really helping them. And any old cat, I have not got any reported cases of an old cat that has kidney issues that didn't like it, that doesn't lay on kidney protocol. Yeah. Cat, they don't want stuff on them.
Yeah, that's the thing with cats, just are very finicky in that way. we had someone over here the other day and they're like, "What is that thing?" And I explained it to them. And they're like, "How much is it?" I was like, "It's only $300 or so." And they're like, "Are you put $300 on your dog?" And I'm like, "Dude, it makes them feel better every time I go to the damn vet. It can't come under $300. I have a standing bet with my wife that there's never been a vet bill under $300 in our history of having dogs. So if this can avert one vet bill a year, it pays for itself. And so for me, it's the preventative maintenance of having a happy dog all the time. And so we charge them and put them on the dogs as often as we can.
Exactly. And it's almost, I use this analogy with cancer. Is can it help with cancer? Absolutely no, not directly. It doesn't have enough energy, but it helps with all the side effects of lack of sleep and depression and anxiety. So how much do you stress out when you're going on a trip and you know your dog's going to stress out before you even go? Right.
Mm.
Because I know he's going to scratch the door up. He's going to go crazy. He's going to lose his mind and stuff. So it's a peace of mind for the dog owner as well as the dog.
And that's really it. We were in Thailand over the summer, and honestly, I'm so remote, I could have stayed there if it weren't for the kids' school. But what would have broken it was the dogs were at home with the dog. Like my wife was going nuts because the whole clan wasn't together, and they started to get a little depressed. We were gone for a fair amount of time, and the lady, as nice as she is, as good as she is with dogs, they missed you. And so I was like, God, I should have given you the devices. Like, I could have helped that.
And it's a lifesaver for 4th of July. I can tell you that because there's any dogs in the world that don't freak out on the 4th of July with
Mm.
fireworks. Run it. Definitely for it's working just for the 4th of July, so it doesn't ruin your holiday.
It's funny, we used to get that around Christmas with all the, like, wrapping paper and stuff. It would make one of my female dog just super anxious, and there was a birthday party, and I said, "You know, put on both of them, but the female in particular," and she's better, right? It's just, something about the wrapping paper and the crinkling noise freaked out the dog.
And like anything, Pedram it's not 100% success rate, but it's over 90. That's what we're seeing with clinical trials we've done and anecdotal data. No drug is 100% either, right? We have lots of customers like, my dog is a lot calmer now, but she's doped up on this stuff, whatever the vet gave her, and it's just not her anymore. I don't want her on these drugs. So just like people, we get a lot of success story where I don't have to give them the medication anymore, which is saving money on medication and you're not drugging your dog.
And you're saving their liver, right? It's
Yeah.
at a certain point, the medication starts to kill them, right? And so the life of the liver, especially in an animal that lives a lot less than we do, that clock runs down faster, right? And so I don't want my dogs on drugs, period.
You being a doctor, you're probably going to cringe at this one. So a friend of mine is an ex-race car driver. He had 4 concussions. He's on fire twice. He was taking 8 Ambien a night for 15 years. And now he's on 0 because of the vibe.
Wow.
Yeah. If he has a liver left, but he's 70 years old, he's still alive. Yeah, he's completely off any medication.
It's funny. You've actually created an addict, and one of our best friends that lives in town, successful realtor, wears it all the time, but it's such like a big heart. Every time someone's suffering, she's like, "Here," and she like takes off her vibe and gives it to the person, and they don't give it back because they're like, "Hey, that really helps me." And so she's, I think, once a month she's buying a new one because she keeps giving them away. They don't have any animals, but the animal owners in my life, if they knew what was happening with my dog, and I'll take some video, I'll share it. You can just see before and after on these animals. It's incredible. It really is. It's noticeable, it's discernible, and it's trackable. You're just tracking their behavior. I don't have like heart rate variability on my dogs, but you can just see it.
You know, this watch that we have coming out next month, right? That's measuring heart rate variability and blood pressure, blood sugar, all those things. I'm trying to invent one for a horse and a dog, but the problem is they use light against the skin to see blood flow, and dogs and horses got fur.
Right.
So we're trying to figure out, now we'll have to shave your dog or your horse to be able to get biomin. So we're trying to invent something that maybe uses sound, how they're breathing and things that I could pick up that aren't light. But as my wife said, concentrate on this and quit inventing new stuff.
Listen, you're a rocket scientist. You're an inventor and a tinkerer, and it's who you are. You can't clip your wings. You got to invent stuff. I would be interested in saying, look, give me 40 dogs and shave them just where the band goes for a 3-month trial just to get the data. It's not a sustainable deal, obviously, because no one's going to shave their dog forever. But if you put a dog through a trial and get the pre and post, I bet you would be dunking on 90% of the drugs that are out there for these dogs.
Good point.
Yeah. All right. I'd shave my dog's wrists to put him on the clinical trial for that. It grows back pretty fast. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, even on the wrist, I think they might chew it. So I'm trying to figure out how they around the neck or something like we have with the horse or something. But yeah,
Listen, I'm a big fan of this. I keep inviting you back on the show because I just keep seeing results with the stuff that you're doing, and results talk. There's just a lot of bullshit out there. I've seen so many of these fads come and go. I've seen so many people talking about their potions, lotions, and magic stuff. Your stuff's working, and it's working for my humans. It's working for my animals. It's working for all the folks that I'm recommending it to. So I cannot emphasize enough that when something's working and is cheap, that should be in your regimen, pure and simple. So I'll put links to the devices for humans and dogs just below here in the show notes. But I think everyone listening should be wearing one of these. And if you have a pet, try it, right? And get one and split it between your pets, and you'll end up getting one for every pet, because that's what I ended up doing because I see the results.
okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, thanks again for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being a tinkering rocket scientist who keeps coming up with cool stuff. Like, I just love what you're coming up with.
Yeah, it's fun. Thank you.
Thanks. Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed that podcast. Mark Fox, I'm a big fan of his work. I will put links in the show notes wherever you're seeing this. Just go to theurbanmonk.com/podcast and find this show. If you're just kind of out there in the universe and don't see it readily, it'll be on my website. Get this technology for your pets. It's something that I've been testing, and I can't tell you enough. Look, when something works, take that to the bank. This stuff works. I really like it.